Hello viewers, hope you've had a very lovely day and welcome to Career Talk, where we'll get to meet different personnel from different professions and fields. And today in the studio we have a very special guest. That's ELIZAETH MUNGAI, and she's going to tell us more about her own profession. And we'll get to talk more, so stay tuned. Welcome so much, ELIZAETH.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So today you're going to tell us more about growing up and loving it.
Yes.
What is growing up? And so just tell us, who is ELIZAETH MUNGAI?
ELIZAETH MUNGAI is, I am a teacher.
Okay.
I'm a life skills teacher in schools. I'm also a Sunday school teacher. I'm born again, and so I help the children to learn more on life skills. They say that growing up, as you grow up, some of the challenges that come up in life, and so we want to help the children to find out how they can cope with the challenges that they will come along, and also how they can have fun as they grow up.
So what's the age gap of the children you teach?
The age gap of the children that I teach is from the age 9 years to 12 years. These are preteens. They're also called twins. The children who are in between actually, being children and adults. So in that formula, in that bracket of them thinking, am I too old? Am I too old for having a doll? And yet I'm very young also to start making decisions in my life. So we are helping children to find out how they can merge in between that gap. I am a child, and yet I feel like I am a teenager. That space is where we engage them.
Okay, for the viewer, if you didn't know about preteen, I think you know who a preteen is. So you mentioned about life skills. You said that you teach life skills, right?
Yes.
So for those who don't understand what life skills is, what is life skills?
Life skills, as the name suggests, is just life skills. It is skills for life. We are taught in school about how to learn different topics like maths, English, geography, Swahili, all that. But life skills now gets to the bigger understanding of a human being, where you need to learn some basic skills for you as you grow up. For example, self-confidence. How do you have self-confidence at 13, at 12, at 7, at 8 years? How do you express yourself? Number 2, also having something like dreams. Having a dream and knowing what your dream is and your talent is, that is a life skill. How do I do conflict resolution? How do I work around people? And so when we have conflict with those people, how do I manage conflict? So all those are life skills. So we can go from self-esteem to self-awareness, to talent development, to identifying what do you want to do with your life. That is vision and purpose. We want children to be purposeful as young as they are, so that when they grow up, they will be productive citizens of the country. Yes. Okay,
so you said that your program is called Growing Up and Loving It.
Yeah.
When did you start the program? Which year?
This program started as we started going to primary schools. We have been to many primary schools, just teaching them basic life skills. But then that time we didn't even have a model. We just used to go to schools and just teach children and go home. Just pick a topic, teach the children and go home. But then we sat down and thought we can engage those children on a higher note. So we decided to come up with a program name, topics that we teach, what is the end result, so how do we go along it. So for 5 years now, that is what we have been doing in schools, different schools and also in churches, yes.
So is it a partnership between the school and you, or how do you go about it?
Yes, it is a partnership between the schools and us. So that's when we go to schools, the teachers have students, we have the content. So we must meet somewhere. So we will come and figure out. Every school have its different requirements, and even churches, they have different requirements. So they'll tell you, this is our students, this is what we have identified about them. They have a problem with communication. Some of the children are in drugs, some of the children. So we find out where are they as a school. So we get to partner according to the needs that the school or the church or the estate, the children, based on the problems that the children have and the needs also.
Okay, you said it's a partnership, but there are kind of partnerships where you get is a volunteership. So do you do it as a volunteership, or it's a way of living, you earn from it?
Since this is life, something that we do now every other day, from Monday to Saturday, we get to partner with the schools, yes, but it's actually not charging the schools. It is an appreciation. Some of the schools will appreciate you. Because also we need to survive, and also we need to make this program sustainable. We can not just do it for free, because sustainability part of it, looking at this, that this is the one and the major thing that we are doing right now. So there is appreciation that comes with it. And when we have holiday programs, we actually have some entrance fee and the charges for the children. Yes, so for now we are having to cost it according to where the children are at, and I promise you it is not as we can, actually it's not as costly, though it is, I think it is affordable. That is what I can say from where I'm sitting.
Okay, was it your dream when you were still young, or it's something which came up when you were older?
I think I've always wanted to work with children. Though I never thought that I would go to class. I think if you ever told me I would ever be in class to teach children, I don't know, I don't know what I would have done to you. So I wanted to work with kids. Kids have a way of interesting me. They interest me for the way they talk, from the way they carry themselves. Kids, they interest me in a way that I can't even explain it with words. So being young, I wanted to work with children, though I thought I would be a pediatrician, kinda. But then at some point I gave up. I wanted to become an accountant. I actually went to school and did accounts. But then I realized this love for children was becoming too much. So it is something that was there as young, but when I started doing it, now in the process of teaching the children, I realized it's something that I would want to do for the rest of my life. Yes, so the love was there, the interest was there, but it's until the moment I started being practical about it that I identified and said, yeah, I think it's something I want to do longer. And right now, you can't get me out of here, I promise you.
Okay, so I get there are children aged between 3 to 8 years, another gap of between 9 to 13 years, the one which you chose, from 14 to 17, and still there are youths.
Yes.
So why did you choose the preteens aged between 9 to 13 and not between 3 to 8 years old?
That is a brilliant question. Growing up myself, I had some very interesting struggles at that age. I think that is the age that I was I was a questioning child. So actually the psychologists, they have framed this age as a very questioning, it's a questioning group. It's the group that start asking you, why do I need to shower? For example, they have been showering all along, but at this point, why do I need to shower? You ask them, you send them somewhere, they ask you, why do I need to do it? They will question. You have them in Sunday school, because I teach them in Sunday school. You come to church and you're teaching these children, they ask you, why should we learn about God? It is the questioning age. And so for me, I had similar questions at that age. I wanted to figure out, what is life all about? So at that time, I don't know whether you guys used to have a newspaper. At our home, I can give you a story. My dad used to buy us a newspaper. Every day would come home with a newspaper. But in that newspaper, different people will go to different segments. Some will go to the sports. I don't know which segment you usually go first when you get a newspaper. Which one?
The buzz, the entertainment.
Where?
Part, the entertainment part.
Entertainment
Yes.
part. So I don't know whether you would guess the part I used to go to first. Death and funeral announcements. Because I wanted to find out what is life all about now that people die. Where do they go? Where do they live like this? That was my first. So I wanted to know.
But how did you manage to get that? Because the obituaries is about the date they died, the burial, such things, and about a biography, autobiography, a small autobiography of them. So how do you get to know about where they go after the death?
As I said, I wanted to find out. I was questioning.
Okay.
I was questioning, why do people live? What is this all about? So with my questions, I wanted to find out, so that now that you're here, at what age do people die? Is it a must that all people die at the same age? So to figure out, what is the purpose of life? And I think for me, that is the platform that answered the purpose of life. I didn't have teachers to ask those questions, but now that I was the questioning child, I think now I want to be the questioning teacher. I engage those children in questions. I ask them, what do you think? Because every one of us knows the truth. So I just ask them, what do you think about this? So choosing to work with that age group is because of the questions that the children have at that age group. It's because of the emotions that sometimes that are happening in their lives, they don't know what to do with them. I think for me, I feel like I am in a place where I can create the balance for the kids. Now that they are young and they want to be bigger at that age, it's where we strike that balance. So for me, it's a balancing issue. And that balancing issue is what makes me meet them every day, feel like I want to work with them every day, remembering myself where I was at their age. And my question is this: did you ever want to learn anything at that age, at age 12? Or what was your life around that age?
Yeah, really. Actually, I was very shy at that age.
Yes.
I was very shy.
All right.
So I really wanted to know how I could be confident, self-confident.
All right.
Yeah. If I was at that age,
Yeah.
I would have asked you that. So,
What can you do for you to be more confident? Something that would be your question.
yeah.
All right. Yes, most of the children have such kind of questions. What do you do? What do you do for you to be? How do I do for me to be confident? And especially right now in the digital age, the children are really having a comparison issue. And yeah, so we're just trying to do our best and strike the balance for the children as we teach them the truth that is based on the Word of God.
And you managed to answer all the questions, whatever a student or a pupil from that age gap asks you a question and you don't have the answer. How do you go about it?
I do research. As a life skills teacher, you really have to do research. And for you, as you're teaching the children, you engage the children at the place of their knowledge. So they will ask me a question, but trust me, amongst their peers, one of their peers will have an answer to their question. So you don't become the know-it-all in the whole discussion.
Yes.
You're like the facilitator in the discussion, knowing that they know the truth.
Yeah, so you involve them.
Yes, you just involve them, you involve the children. So one child will ask a very hard question, but to them it's hard, but there's another one in the class who has an answer to it. So my work is just to facilitate it and just give like my last word or even an experience part of it, because now for me I'm not talking about theory, it is experience. I'm no longer 13, I'm no longer 12, I'm no longer 10. So it's just a place where you will find an answer. There is no one time that you will not find an answer, and the answers will come from themselves. Yeah.
So how do you manage to market yourself?
How do I market this? I go to schools. I've been to a few schools by now. I go to schools, and so when you teach one class, the teachers will be willing to give you another class if they really like what you're doing. And trust me, there's no one who has not said that they don't like what you're doing. That I can promise you. I can invite you for that. Okay. So we go to schools, we talk to the guidance and counseling teachers, and also to the churches, we talk to the church administrators. Estates, we are trying to form the groups for parents where we can meet them and get one contact person that we can engage. Yes, so that is, for now, that is the marketing that we are doing. And also one-on-one, where a parent has had their child, and then they will refer you. That is what you're doing for now.
Okay, now that you say that you deal with the preteens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what is the biggest need of preteens?
I think the biggest need for the preteens is the biggest need for every human being. They need to find out, every child at that age needs to know that they are valued, they are loved, they are looking for affirmation. So it is critical that we find out where our children are getting affirmation from. Because the moment you start telling a girl at 12 years that you look beautiful, this is just the way we blossom as girls, especially at 12. You not look like mature. So you start telling her she's beautiful. If you're not an authority figure in her life, she will follow whoever is saying she's beautiful wherever else. So this is actually a challenge to the parents. That at that age, engage your child. Know what your child is struggling with, because affirmation is one of their biggest needs. Some of them also, it's presence. They really need somebody, a mature person who is in their lives. At this age, they can be withdrawn a little bit. So you also need patience. So their biggest need is affirmation, but you also need to work with patience and acknowledging, and also emphasizing and telling them that there's something you can do with your lives, you know. Yeah, such kind.
Okay, well, we're going for a short break and we'll be right back. So make sure you take a glass of water.